Hey, what's up? It's Fist, bringing you the news like I do, and I wanted to go over basically the combinations of Modern Warfare 3 attachments, perks, and how it relates to multiplayer. Mostly I'm going to cover all multiplayer, and anything I say is speculation and rumor, so take it for what it's worth. But as you all know, I had to take down 2 videos that were 100% legit. So we'll go from there. And if you can comprehend what that means, then pay attention. So we have the very first design that we see. We have an ACOG with a red dot sight on top of that. Now, how does that coincide with the perks that are available in the game? I mean, these could be one of the many attachment combinations that you will see in the upcoming Modern Warfare 3 game. Now, what does this tell us about the game? Having multiple attachments and a reflection of modern day warfare that is going on today. What this tells us is that when you're dealing with multiple attachments on top of your assault rifle, you're dealing with a lot of different situations. So you could be dealing with very long ranges within a map and a lot of close quarter combat. This is exactly what these attachments are used for. So how does that coincide with the perks and the attachments running together? Now, I found it quite interesting that when you use an ACOG and holographic setup like this is switchable, and I'm going to show you how it's switchable compared to what we just seen, where it's more or less, it could be switchable both ways. It depends if they put those both in the game. This is basically what setup really is, the rumors and presumably speculation that's going to be in the game. Now, as you heard, Revelations is a perk that brings in the reticle, brings it in closer. So to have it in combination with a holographic and a ACOG scope with Revelations, which brings in the reticle even closer, there's a couple questions. Very long. One, we're going to have very big maps. Two, because of having this many attachments on a weapon and Revelations to bring in the reticle closer, you have to surmise that you're looking for a hit on the first shot from your rifle at long distance. So does that mean we are going to have bullet drop? That is a big question drop. That's a big question mark. We don't really know. But we do know that having a setup like this, the maps are going to be longer, because they're going to be more of a bigger combination, very long distances. So I'm going to say they're going to be like 4 or 5 layers deep. Usually when we Call of Duty 4, it was like 4 lanes, and then they got to like Modern Warfare 3, it turned to 6 lanes. Now we're probably going to get up to like 20 lanes. I don't know, maybe 19. I mean, very deep maps and a lot of close quarter combats as well. So let's take a look at the setup. Now, as you could see, the ACOG is shooting through the holographic. What this does for you, now how this is going to work on your controller, is that the first sight that he's looking through, the holographic sight, is an ACOG sight. So what you want to do with the combination of Revelations, which is a perk that brings in the reticle, if you have a combination of these 3 things in your setup, that's going to guarantee you a headshot. It brings everything in closer. So these are the things that you're going to have to comprehend in order for you to get the shots that you need on people at long range. You're like, man, how are you getting those shots on people? Because in order to get that, I'm sure they're calculating everything into the math equation for these 3 particular situations: the ACOG, the holographic, and the Revelations perk. Whatever else, other setups that they have in combination with that. It's very heavy laden as far as, bringing it down to before the perks really, weren't an issue, really didn't, they really weren't something that you concentrated on now. Now there's a huge concentration on the perks with the attachments. They come together. So now you see how the guy's thumb is going to click back or push back the ACOG sight, and what happens is you pull up the holographic, and that's in for close quarter combat. So how does that work on your controller? So let's say you go from long distance, bam, into close quarter combat with inside of a map. You know, like for instance, any particular map you could think of that has like cracked. Let's say you're in cracked. I mean, you get into a building, you'll have to be on your directional key. So you'll go from your ACOG, you hit the directional key, it'll drop down the ACOG, and you'll go into the holographic. And that's if you have those two sites. Now, how are we going to get those two sites? Is it by, you know, COD points or whatever it's going to be? But let's say you have Revelations, which brings a reticle in quicker. So you'll be like, use a directional key, which is really interesting because now you have to be more dexterous. You have to have more dexterity with the controller, which is great. They're getting you more, you have to think more involved with the controller, and they're implementing the D-pad. Now this is another combination setup from where you go from scope to your iron sights. And maybe you don't want the holographic and you want to go from the iron sights and you don't want to pop down the holographic. This could be another setup that we haven't seen yet in a Call of Duty game. Now some people might like the the iron sights. They don't want to use the ACOG with the holographic. You know, I mean, I don't really know how which attachments are going to be seen, like the three that I've shown you. They might just have the ACOG with the holographic, but I would like to see those three different setups. You know, maybe, you know, I would suffer a little bit more distance, but we'd pick up a little bit more on the other stuff, which would be cool. So let's go ahead and move along. So now we got the AK-47 that's in the game. We've seen the SCAR. We've seen the M4. You know, we have a lot of assault rifles, but you know, like I said, we got the M4, the SCAR, the AK-47, the G36 is making a comeback. The M4, multiple different types of M4s. I don't know if the M16 is coming back. And, you know, obviously the Striker, the AA-12, a lot of pistol combinations, the dual shotties, the G36. We might see different variations of the G36 sniper rifle in the game, as well as the LMG. It all depends on what they want to put in there. Me personally, I would like to see an SMG M4 in the game. That would be the shit. And we know the MP5 is coming back. Like an extended MP5. We don't know if the ACR is coming back, but you can see the setups now. More latent into dual attachments, longer attachments. So is that with the combination of the streaks for longer distance, bigger maps? We shall see. So I hope this shed some light on some of your questions about the weapons and whatnot. Until next time, it's your boy Fist. Peace.